So what's up guys, welcome to another video. So for this video I wanted to take a look at the RuneScape annual survey. So I was a bit worried about doing this video. This is not an attempt to sway the polls or anything like that. I don't want you to take like anything I do and make it affect what you guys are going to vote for. Just a lot of people wanted to know my opinions on this. Again, I was a bit iffy about doing this video because I didn't want to sway the polls in any way. But I'm just going to share my opinions. So what they do on RuneScape 3 is they do a poll every year. Unlike old school, they don't just poll everything, but they do a poll where the players decide where they want them to focus most of their attention on some potential future updates. So let's get into it. So I think there's like a pre-survey where it kind of determines how much you play RuneScape, old school RuneScape, and so on. So I'll just do that quickly. Okay, so the previous questions were stuff like to do with the loyalty shit and like if you want to buy a year's membership, what perks you get, if they interest you or not. That I'm not going to share. I'll just say I voted no to anything cosmetic related. I'm not interested in getting cosmetics and stuff. But let's get into this. So the Land Out of Time base camp expansion. New buildings, new benefits, additional tiers to your base, blah, 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 blah. I'd say that's somewhat appealing. I feel like it's not very appealing because I don't know if it's just going to be more time-gated content. A player-owned town. Okay, that sounds interesting. A player-built hub town using construction, recruiting NPCs to come live in your town as you act as the mayor. Okay, that sounds like a mix between kingdoms and player-owned farms. I think that sounds really cool. I'd be interested to see what they do with that. So the more far right, the more interested I am. The more far left, the less interested I am. Dude, is this one literally sailing? Own a submarine to explore the sea floor. That just sounds like when they proposed sailing, like kind of similar but underwater. Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on that. I'm gonna go in the middle. Not interested or not disinterested. I'll go in the middle with that. Clue Scroll Booster, similar to the Clue Scroll Overhaul, they'll add new rewards. I'm always down for more clue content. I fucking love clues. So rare drop table boosters. I'm assuming by the sounds of it, it's gonna kind of maybe like thresholds, which they have for pets, but for drops. I would like to see that on lower tier bosses, but probably not higher tier bosses. Because if you're going for boss logs, no one wants to spend like 10 years killing King Black Dragon because the rewards are crap and the rewards are pretty rare as well. Like a lot of the rewards are harder to get, a lot of the drops are harder to get than the pet and stuff. I'm probably going to go in the middle with that because I think I'd need more details to know like what that consists of. Pet Park, a location to see all your pets, level up your pets and gain traits. So basically we're going to have Pokemon in RuneScape. So we're going to get a little place where we put all our pets, probably like in your house, but somewhere different. And then there's little pet quests and you can level up your pets. That sounds kind of interesting, but is it going to add like an extra layer of confusion to the game? It sounds weird, but it sounds fun. I'll give it that. It sounds fun. So I'm going to say I am looking forward to that. Like I'm going to give it a little bit, not all the way because it sounds a bit unusual. But it does sound like a layer of fun to the game. Player-owned skill in dungeons. Gain gold skin in locations as drops. So basically it's kind of like a ticket to your own area, I'm assuming. That sounds alright. That sounds like something you get in old school as well. Like it sounds quite normal. It sounds alright. It doesn't sound amazing, but yeah, I think that would fit in the game. More player-owned stuff. A player-owned army. So this is like a mini game, but you have your own army. I like the sound of that as well. I think they're very much focused on player-owned stuff. So player-owned like pet farm, player-owned fucking town, player-owned everything, player-owned army. Oh wait, here's another one. Player-owned transport links. Set up a player-owned shop and level up transport links for various cities. So is this like, it says acts like managing Miscellanea, offering rewards over time. It kind of sounds a bit like more portsy stuff. I hope it wouldn't be too much like ports. This sounds fun if it's not too long-winded. And you unlock like transport links that you need. I can't imagine there being too many. Like it's quite easy to get around RuneScape. I can't imagine there being too much. But I kind of like the idea of that. It just, again, I'd need more information to give a solid opinion on it. Miscellanea Remastered, a graphical facelift as well as huge improvements to the reward. Okay, that I want. Strongly agree. Because that is a really good piece of content, the Miscellanea. And I did do a cinematic in one of my videos, and I would like to see that overhauled. Golden clue scrolls. Get a lucky and find a golden clue scroll. So again, so you get this golden clue scroll instead of a normal clue scroll, and it gives double loot. I don't think it's necessary, but I kind of like clue content. I feel like that would fit in, so I'm going to go strong on that one. Okay, so base drop rework project. A project that looks critically at drops of lesser play content. So basically, this is what I was talking about earlier, and they've put King Black Dragon as an example. Yes, I feel like the lesser played bosses, like the lower level bosses, are very much out of place. I know it sounds like a big change, but you level up so much faster that you don't really spend time at these lower bosses unless you want the drop log. So I'm all for that. So another player-owned content. It must be because like player-owned stuff's gone down really well. A new guild founded by you, attract adventurers. So this here, they could put in the town, the player-owned town. They could make that one piece of content. So you've got your town, and then your town attracts adventurers. I'm gonna vote for this, but I want it in with the town. So if you own the town, and then you can have the guild in your player-owned town, and this is part of the same piece of content. That's the only reason I'm going to say yes, is because I want it as the same piece of content. That would go really well and give another layer to having a player-owned town. Dungeons as drops. Drops from skilling and combat that give you entrance to a dungeon. So it's kind of like you get a little ticket of a dungeon you can go in for a little bit. I'm not too keen on that. It's just meh. Okay, so this one's a little different. How often should we launch types of content? Elite dungeons. I kind of like elite dungeons. I would like to see more, but if you put like every month, before you know it, you got like elite dungeons 45. I wouldn't mind a new one maybe every year. I'm gonna say every year because I feel like content comes in the game way too fast. Slayer mobs, I have no idea. Maybe like every 9 months. Hard solo bosses. I feel like a good boss once a year is a nice pace. Some people might disagree, but there's still so much I haven't done. If you was like, you know, comped and you've done everything, you'd probably want them more frequently though. Combat dungeons, no idea. Leave that one blank for now. Big multiple bosses, again, every year, but you know, if you've got one of these coming out, you could do that in 6 months and then that one in a year. So you got bosses coming out throughout the year, but again, I wouldn't want to see them too much. If you had that every month, that's 2 bosses in 1 month. It just gets a bit stupid. Again, more bosses once a year. You could have, then that would be like 3 of these in a year, maybe a bit longer than once a year then, if you got so many different types of bosses. Yeah, and then you got a solo boss. I'm gonna say a year, but that again, that's 4 bosses in 1 year. Let's keep elite dungeons a year, and these I'll move to every 2 years because there's so many, and that's my opinion on bosses coming into the game, I guess. So here it says they've got ideas to change combat quite frequently. I wouldn't want that, because if you don't play for a while, when you come back and then the meta's changed, this is like meta changes is basically what they're saying. So that weapon will no longer be like, yeah, that's very unappealing to me. I wouldn't want to see the combat changed regularly. It's nice to know what you're doing. I could imagine if you've been playing for a long time, things might get stale. But that's down to them to bring a new boss out, which has you need a different tactic for. Not to just change the way combat works regularly. I think that sounds kind of stupid. RuneScape will be attempting a different approach to content, something called a remaster. This takes existing game content like areas, bosses, dungeons, training methods, and updates them graphically, reflect on bugs, new elements. This sounds fucking amazing. The worst thing about this game is its inconsistency. And I remember hearing something leaked about RuneScape Remastered. Is this going to be a full launch, or are they just going to do piece by piece of the current game? Either way, I really, really like the sounds of this. Okay, so my opinions on this are new stories. I put slightly important. I don't think adding new content as they're reworking is important. I'm actually going to say not important at all, rethinking about it. New surprises, again, I don't think it's important. Rebalancing of rewards, maybe, because some things are not really worth doing the way the game stands. So I think, yeah, I'm going to say that's moderately important, that if they redo an area that, you know, they take a look at the rewards and stuff. New challenges, again, not important. Graphical improvements to the area, extremely important. Everything is so out of whack in this game. New rewards to gain, again, I couldn't really care about that. Retaining a sense of familiarity, yes, that is important. I would say that is very important. Fix functions and improvements, yeah, exactly, very important. So yeah, that's how I stand on that. I don't think there needs to be new content, but they definitely need to graphically get everything up to date. The reason I say that is because the time it takes to do something like that, I don't think they necessarily have to spend the resources making new content, and something like this will end up taking years and years and years to get into the game. I'd rather they just get everything graphically reworked and maybe a bit of rebalancing. So this gets more into details about it. So a bossing hub where you find people to boss with. I'll go neutral on that. I don't really know. I don't personally have trouble finding people to boss with, but that's kind of because of my situation. I have a friends chat and stuff. There's always people to play with in a friends chat. I don't know if that's necessary, but maybe for solo players who then want to find a group, maybe it'd work for them. I don't know. Be social. Fight Caves Remastered. I'd like to see that. So I'm not like super strong on it, but yeah, I would like to see that because it's a very iconic part of the game. Big Game Slayer, where you can kill the guys you hunt on the island. Yeah, sure, why not? Player-owned dungeons. I haven't done player-owned dungeons yet, so I just went neutral on it. Skilling and combat bosses. So we have skilling bosses in Old School, and they're very successful. I think they've gone down really well, and I wouldn't mind seeing them over here just because of how well they've done in Old School. Landslide, randomly generated dungeon. I don't think I really understand this, so I just put slightly disagree. It doesn't sound super interesting to me. High level cow and chicken dungeon. So this is something only RS3 could get away with. You couldn't really get away with this on Old School. But I kind of like some of the quirky aspects on RS3. So I would like to see that. I'm not strong, but yeah, I would like to see that. God Wars Dungeon Remastered, again, iconic content. I would like to see that. I strongly agree on that. Abyssal Slayer Dungeon, just whatever, went neutral on it. More Elite Dungeon stuff, but with like some gods involved. Cool, I'll be down for that. Elite Dungeons are insanely good content. Slayer bosses, hell yeah. With Slayer on Old School, there's a lot more bosses while you're doing Slayer. You have a lot more options of doing your Slayer task at a boss, and I'd like to see more of that on RS3. It's mainly geared towards the high end. You can do that more, but not so much on the low end. A raid here, yeah, why not? Slayer Tower Remastered. I think the Slayer Tower's alright, but yeah, why not? Because the follow-up question is an elite dungeon in the Slayer Tower. I think I can see the vision here. So if they're gonna do this, they might as well remake the Slayer Tower while they're at it. More early game bosses, again, yeah, I'd be down for that, but I think they might have to rebalance the ones that already exist and not just throw new ones in. There needs to be more of a skill ladder. With my series, I've tried to do bosses in an order of a skill ladder, and it's not quite there, so that could help create a skill ladder and a difficulty order of doing bosses. Land Out of Time Elite Dungeons, hell yeah, I'd like to see what they do with that. With dinosaurs and shit in there and a dinosaur boss. I reckon that could be some really good content. Group system improvements. The group system is trash. Most systems in RuneScape are really confusing, and there's too many toggles and buttons, and it's not very straightforward, so I'm down to rework any of them. A new dragons. I don't know, we got so many dragons in the game, so I kind of went neutral with that. I'm assuming it's to get like being able to make dragon equipment into the game. King Black Dragon Remastered. Again, this has come up a few times. Please, it fucking sucks, and I'm grinding it at the moment just for completionist purposes, and yeah, it's pretty shit. Okay, this sounds good. Ardoin Remastered. Please, just fucking remaster the whole fucking game. Don't just do it in sections and then shit gets left behind. Just do the lot. Do everything. Just get everything the same graphical content. Yeah, and Ardoin is a bit behind. RuneScape Pet Battler, you know, it's not Pokemon. I'm a bit neutral on that. Castle Wars Remastered, could go wrong. That'd be a very hard thing to get right. Minigames themselves, I feel like, are very unappealing just to this generation. RuneScape Auto Chess, fucking yes. I feel like that would fit in. Auto Chess has been doing so well, and there's definitely enough characters to make Auto Chess a thing with RuneScape. I feel like that's a good idea, but is it just going to be another game mode that just gets chucked to the back and never used again? Goodbye Darkscape, that card game they had, so on. Varrock Remastered. I think Varrock's a bit more modern than some other places, but I want to see everything remade. But I feel like Varrock's kind of up there a little bit. It's not too neglected. Crimson, yeah, that is very out of date. We'll go for that. The needle is used again. Yeah, I don't really understand this question. I did read it before recording as well, so I'm just going neutral. The needle is used again. Is that something to do with the needle skips quest, maybe? I just go neutral on that. And again, more new content, not too worried about. Please just fix the old stuff, man. RuneScape card battler and collection system. So gain cards from drops and fight. It's not a bad idea, but again, I feel like it's just adding more confusion to the game. I feel like they need to just simplify the game, get all the graphics up to date, bring the game into the 21st fucking century, right? Get everything even, graphics even, areas even, fine. Get your fucking system way more easier to understand, your interface more easier to understand for new players, and stop adding more levels of difficulty. There's the system to find information, like even the achievements is really fucking hard to get to where you need to get. Just get that all fixed, and then maybe when the game's easier to understand in the future, add something like this. I'm gonna say no for now. It sounds alright, but I feel like it's just more level of like weirdness for returning players. The dark side is Xanaris, a new area to explore. Again, I'm not big on new areas. This is for focus, right? I want you to focus on getting Ardoin up, Varrock, whatever. Just focus on remastering areas before adding new shit, please. How interested you are in competitive games. So at least RuneScape are not oblivious. They know competitive games are the future, and they say competitive game modes in RuneScape. So the fact that they mentioned auto chess, I think that's the good way for RuneScape to go. I know Old School's going more in the way of PvP and stuff. Last Man Standing, they tried Deadman. Deadman was like semi-successful, but they couldn't get their shit together. But I'm gonna say extremely interested in this question, and I'm like somewhat interested in general with competitive games. I play some, but I think RuneScape doing an auto chess is like a really smart idea for the company. Okay, so it looks like they have been listening to the player base. A lot of people I've been hearing have been saying that they need stuff like this. Old School have a decent amount of stuff like this, but RS3 not so much. So there's 3 game modes that they're thinking about doing. A PvP game mode where teams of players compete against one another in class-based capture the flag. Kinda, I'm assuming this is what they're on about when they were saying about remaking Castle Wars, and then maybe they're gonna use Castle Wars as a base to build a game like that in the future. I'd be very interested in that, but sadly, I don't feel like PvP gets a good response. I feel like a lot of people are gonna downvote this just because they saw the word PvP. But like, yeah, PvP, man, downvote. Like, you know, the RuneScape free community's like. A PVM mode where players compete, blah blah blah. That sounds pretty decent. I feel like that would have a backing as well. A PVM and PvE mode, game mode where players begin with a blank slate, optimize their players' characters, blah blah blah. Race against time, complete as many clue scrolls as possible, stuff like that. Yeah, that is a very good idea. Definitely going to vote for that. So this question here is basically they want to diversify double XP weekends. So you have a luck weekend, double drop weekend, bonus XP. Kind of sounds like what they did. I'd much prefer like a weekend which is more simple, where it'd just be like, you know, combat focus, where it'd be like you get more Slayer points this weekend. Kind of like the weekends they've had through the summer. I don't think everything should just be double XP. A luck weekend, not interested in people getting drops twice as easy on a weekend where other people can't play or something. Double drop weekend, again, sounds busted as hell, not interested. Bonus XP burn weekend. So if you got bonus XP in a skill, you burn it twice as fast. Absolutely down for that. I feel like that's a good idea. Double resource weekend as well. I like the idea as that as well, because getting resources from actually skilling is not always a good method anymore. So to see that doubled would probably give people that motivation to, you know, do some woodcutting or some shit. So well, this poll's a lot longer than I thought, so I guess we'll keep going. This is about future quest ideas they have. The origin of Zaros. The thing is, I haven't done all the quests in RS3, so I don't know how much of this stuff has actually been covered, because I am quite behind. But yeah, it'd be somewhat appealing to see what happens more with Zaros. A quest where you can become a Slayer Master. I think that's pretty cool. If you're 99 Slayer, you know, why the hell not? Who is the Raptor? I've seen that guy about and don't really know much about him. I guess they could dive in that. Back to the God Wars quest. So you can travel back in time and see the gods. I feel like the history lore is way more interesting than the current lore when it comes to the gods. I'd like to see a lot more throwbacks in the game, because a lot of the history is really fucking interesting compared to what's going on now. White Knight Final, I'm all for wrapping up quest lines, so yeah. Dragon Slayer 2, you know, it's been done on Old School. I don't know if they'll do it differently on here, but yeah, why not? Desert Treasure 2, no, fuck that quest. Wasn't interested in the story. Killing off the wise old man, don't think it's necessary, so I said no. Another Elven quest, I don't think I've actually fully finished the Elven storyline, so I don't know, just went neutral. Haven't done World Wakes, went neutral. Araxor, haven't even touched it, neutral. Temple of Censored whatever. I quite enjoyed that quest. The lead up to it was annoying. There was loads of crappy, you know, pre-quests to get curses, but I wouldn't mind seeing them go on that as well. So this is a really interesting question. It's basically about the interactions between the towns and stuff in the human kingdom. I would love to see more of that, like Falador going to war with Varrock, or like, you know, internal problems between the kingdoms. I feel like that would add a lot of flavor to the game. And there's things here where you can get more into the religious aspects, you know, of what gods they follow. I'm all down for that. Adds more flavor to that area. So again, with a lot of these potential quests, I didn't realize how many they were thinking of. A lot of them I haven't done up to the current. So Menaphos, I just don't like Menaphos in general, so I just voted no. Monkey Madness 2, we have that in Old School. A lot of these quests, yeah, I just haven't done. Break in History, though, is one I'd definitely be interested in. Because what they did with the second one, History Quest, was really good. Obviously, the first one's really old and it's very dated. But if they did something similar, like the newer style, that could be a really good quest. Really enjoyed that. Return of the King to Falador sounds interesting. And again, most of them haven't done. Some more Gothic storyline, yeah, they sound quite good as well. So here's a question where it says about, like, what's your interest in skilling? A skill reworks? Yes. I need woodcutting and fishing and divination, like maybe the skills to function the same as mining, like with the progress bar and the crits and stuff. Mining and smithing, I feel like they did a really good job with, but the other skills, if you was a new player who's never played RuneScape, it's inconsistent, so I'd like to see skills reworked. New skills, not interested in whatsoever. Extending skills to 120, I put slightly interested just for consistency. I feel like either all the skills should go to 120 or none should go to 120, but that's just me and my opinion. And new trainer methods, yeah, I'm all for that. So for the sake of this video getting too long, I'm going to start just like going to the most important things. Skill and abilities, no thank you. And here I've obviously put like cities and buildings priority, boys. If you're watching Jagex, get graphics up to date, get the game consistent, please. And there's like player-owned agility courses. Don't know how they would balance that. Safe cracking, like bank heists, I feel like that could be a good idea as well. And that's pretty much it, boys. Not my usual kind of video, but a few people did want to know my opinions with, you know, where I've got to playing RuneScape and stuff. If you did like this video, please show some support, smash them likes, let me know what you think in the comments, and whether you'd like to see me do stuff like this in the future, because it's really different to what I usually do. But if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and catch you in the next one.